Don't tell me you went home already.
Good evening, Miss Rosemary. No, I haven't gone home just yet.
Obtuse and stupid as always, I see. By the way, I left some of your documents I need finished by tomorrow somewhere near your desk. I trust you went through those?
What? Near my desk? Could you be more specific, please?
I'm pretty certain I left them right next to it. What? Don't tell me you didn't go through them. You see, this is what I mean when I talked about time. You gotta manage, damn it. This is such an inconvenience. You're so useless, Veronica. Do your work properly.
I'm sorry, but I don't know which documents you're talking about. Could you tell me which ones you mean?
Did you look around your desk, yes or no? And the trash can?
Oh, jeez, it was in the trash can.
Just as I thought, throwing away such important documents without so much as a bat on an eyelash. Unbelievable.
But I didn't throw it out. I would never throw out any documents without anyone's permission.
What are you trying to say?
Miss Rosemary, did you really leave these documents near my desk? I'm certain that a quick glance at them would have been enough to realize what they were. But they weren't on my desk or near it anywhere. They were instead in the trash can. Do you know anything?
Don't tell me you're suspicious of me. This is so ridiculous. You suspect your own superior at work of foul play? Do you realize how rude you are right now?
If I'm wrong, I apologize. I'm sorry.
You know, I would never do such a thing. You put them in the trash can yourself and then tried to make it so that someone else did it. You're rotten down to the core, Veronica.
Down to my core, rotten?
You have an unattractive face on top of a despicable personality. It's really hard to be your superior, honestly.
I'm sorry, but you need not have gone into that territory, Miss Rosemary.
What have we here? Talking back to your superior, are we?
That's not what I'm doing here, Miss Rosemary, but I'm still a newcomer in the office. I'm so grateful for you showing me around the workplace and teaching me how to do my job properly. But if someone remarks something negative about how I look, how do I say this? There's not much I can do to change that, and it only hurts my feelings, so I'd appreciate it if you stopped.
You know I'm only speaking the truth. The mere fact that an ugly swine shows up to work in the secretary division makes everyone's morale drop to an all-time low. We don't need ugly swine around here. Don't come to work again.
You need not say such things, Miss Rosemary. I'm only trying to do my best for the company, as you know.
Trying to do your best? You've got some guts saying that, when you haven't even gone through the documents that need to be finished by tomorrow.
These weren't even on my desk, as we discovered. Perhaps a little heads up during the day wouldn't hurt. And this sort of mishap can be avoided in the future, I believe.
That tongue of yours is still live. Sounds like you're putting the blame on me.
I haven't typed a word with that intention.
And I also know this. The vice director of the company has taken a liking to you.
What?
Taking a liking to you. When you're nothing but a hideous hag. How did you do it? Use your body, I suppose.
I must ask you to stop saying these things, Miss Rosemary. Perhaps the reason why you're being so mean to me is because of what's going on with the vice director?
I'm not even being mean to you, Veronica. No wonder you're so stupid. You can't even understand a person right. But someone saw you walking alongside the vice director a couple days back, and then I got depressed.
Why is that?
The vice director is a handsome young man who can do his job properly. He's like a rock star to us all. He's not the kind of person to keep all to yourself. And then there's you, plain dull woman. I really can't understand why he's taken a liking to you. In any case, I know you're never letting him out of your sight. Like some disgusting stalker. Could you stop doing such things? You're ruining the division's reputation with stupidity like that.
I don't have any intention of doing such actions.
Perhaps not, but never forget that you're being a nuisance to us all. Not just the vice director himself, but everyone working in the secretary division. You've no idea how much of an obstacle it is to have to work with someone we know is giving everyone a hard time. How about you start accounting for how everyone else feels about this,
I didn't realize everyone regarded the vice director that way, so I'm sorry to have caused the trouble.
So in other words, you don't approve of me being seen with the vice director, am I right, Miss Rosemary? Not just me, damn it. Everyone doesn't approve, Veronica. He himself must be feeling really bothered by this. And also, why in the world were you with him in the first place? You went up to meet with him after work. What the hell were you doing with him?
We went out to dinner, actually. We do that sometimes since we do live together, too.
Are you pulling my leg? Or is that loose screw of yours finally popped out of its little crevice?
No, it's the cold truth, I'm afraid. We do live together, so in the event we get off work around the same time, we go someplace to eat before going back home.
What are you trying to tell me? There's no friggin' way the vice director would yield to a stupid, simple woman like you. So you really are a stalker, eh? You sneak into his house every night and you sleep in the same house as him, eh?
Do my looks really give off that kind of vibe? However, I do agree with you. Compared to the vice director, I may look pretty simple. My brother's been under the spotlight since time immemorial, after all.
Huh? Brother? What?
The vice director is my older brother, Miss Rosemary. Our parents divorced when we were very young, so we have different surnames. But we were of the same family name, once upon a time. After I came back from studying abroad, I've been renting a room of his, and that's why we're living together. My father seems to rest easier like that, apparently.
Oh, hold on a second. You're the little sister of the vice director, Veronica.
Yes, I am. We don't look alike at all, do we?
And in other words, you're the director's daughter?
Well, I suppose you could say that, yes. My biological father and I haven't really lived together very much, so I don't really think of him as my true father yet. But it was because of him and my brother that I was able to start working as soon as I came back from abroad. I can't forget my gratitude, can I?
Why did you keep quiet about that?
I didn't think I could show everyone that I'm truly capable of, and I thought people would look at me differently if I joined the company because the director himself pulled some strings. But I'd forgotten that my brother's quite the rock star, especially among the ladies, as you say. But don't worry, we aren't anything like you claim us to be.
Oh, I'm not worried at all, miss. About tomorrow's documents, I can check them over first thing tomorrow morning. You need not stay late tonight to do any extra work, miss. Go home for the day, please. I'm sure the vice director is starting to get a little worried about you.
I'm on my way home right now, actually, Miss Rosemary. The vice director was so kind as to help me go over the documents with me. And you need not do it tomorrow morning.
What? The vice director did? Don't tell me. You didn't blab anything about me to him, did you? You didn't tell him that I made you do them, right?
I didn't. I merely told him that they somehow wound up in the trash can and that they weren't finished yet.
Oh, thank God. And it's not like I put them there, you know. There wasn't much space to put them, so they may have fallen into the trash can on their own. I'm sorry, Miss Veronica.
I didn't think that you'd offer me an apology, Miss Rosemary. That was the last thing I expected.
But of course I would. It was never anyone's mistake, and you left for home pretty late tonight. And that's made me feel sorry for you and for the vice director.
Is that so? Who would have thought that your attitude would change this much? What a surprise.
But I haven't changed attitudes at all, Miss Veronica. Could I ask a small favor of you? If you're all right with it, I'd like you to recommend me to your brother. Romantically, of course.
Excuse me? Why would I do that?
This is something I shouldn't really say to the younger sister of the man in question here, but I've been a fangirl of his ever since I joined the Enterprise. So I'd love for you to let him know about me so that we could maybe go out to dinner together.
Dinner with my brother, you mean?
Indeed, and if it's not too much to ask, I don't mind going over to your place for some time together. You're invited, of course. You could be my future little sister, after all. And I've always had this feeling that the vice director is only ever kind to me in particular. And I don't think it's wishful thinking, so if I just had to chance, things for us could go pretty well. Unless I must call for you to help me out. Perhaps you could be the matchmaker for the two of us and arrange something.
My brother's with me right now, and he just said that it really is wishful thinking, Miss Rosemary.
What? Wait, hold on. What do you mean? Your brother is the vice director, right?
Yes, he is. He's been reading our conversation in DMs for a while now.
What? Didn't you say you never told him anything, Miss Veronica?
I didn't tell him, Miss Rosemary, but I was crying as I was staring at my screen, so he went and saw what was happening without even asking.
What? You can't mean that he's seeing all of this too, right?
Yes, he is.
Mr. Director, this isn't what you think. It's a misunderstanding.
What's a misunderstanding, Miss Rosemary? You don't mean the fact that you just call me stuff like ugly swine and hideous bag, and that you brutally harass me at work every day, forcing me to do more work?
Oh, Veronica dear, don't go about saying such silly things. You'll only make things worse, you know, and it's not like I wanted to do those things.
You're the only one who went to such extremes, though, you see.
It's not what you think. All I ever wanted was to educate you to become a good secretary. I never meant for those things to be personal insults. And I sure as hell never intended to harass you, not in the slightest.
I've taken the liberty of witnessing everything that has transpired tonight between you and my sister, Miss Rosemary.
Pardon me? Is that you, Mr. Vice Director?
The fact that my sister is still a newcomer here is no excuse for what I now know you did to her. Insulting her regarding her looks, forcing more work upon her, and making her stay working until late at night. Until now, she hasn't breathed a word, but I finally know who had the audacity to do these things.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Vice Director. I never knew she was your sister.
Who cares if it was my sister or not? You are a despicable human being, Miss Rosemary Floyd. Throwing important documents away voluntarily is another crime to your pile. This will be taken to Human Resources promptly.
Mr. Vice Director, please, wait a moment. I really am terribly sorry. I had no malice aforethought. I assure you.
It's over for you, Rosemary. Your charm as a woman and as a human being is zilch. Never interact with me or with my sister ever again!
The vice director of the company loves his sister Veronica very dearly and never allows any harm to come to her, and strictly punishes those who did. And Miss Rosemary was no exception. He never had any of her excuses, never forgave her, and promptly arranged for her to be moved to a subsidiary company in building maintenance. Rosemary's salary dwindled to something much smaller, and she was thrown into a working society dominated by men. Away from the brilliant office life of the secretary in training, and because of mounting pressure from the vice director, Rosemary's father eventually quit his job at his own company. An angry brother can be as strong as a lion, it seems.
Hey, I was told that your mom is on the verge of death right now. Are you serious? Will she be okay?
Lynn, thank you for texting me about this. I think this is going to be it for my mom soon. Really, it's up to her strength now to gauge whether she'll make it a few more days or only a few more hours. And as for my family, we're all very shocked that her condition became this bad overnight.
So you weren't kidding. Well, that won't cause any issues for my wedding, will it?
Huh?
I've only met with your mom a handful of times while I've been your sister-in-law. So, to me, there really isn't anything about her passing that'll bother me. But my wedding is going to be this weekend, right? So, her being close to passing away won't cause the wedding any problems, right?
Lynn, what you're talking about right now isn't my biggest concern, okay? Right now, my mom is really in bad shape and things aren't looking good for her. So you saying that her passing won't bother you and talking about how it shouldn't affect your wedding is a bit...
Sorry. I'm a blunt person and I never lie or hide my true feelings. And I just think it'd be a huge shame if what's going on with your mom somehow affected my wedding in a bad way. Actually, her dying right now is a big bother for me.
It's not necessary for you to say things like that right now. And it's not like my mom is wanting to pass away on a day close to your wedding that might cause some issues, so could you stop talking about her like that?
Well, it doesn't matter to me. Just as long as my wedding is the main focus for my family, as it should be. So make sure her death doesn't get in the way of it. Tell her to hang on a little longer until after the wedding's over, and then she can die.
I want her to keep holding on for as long as possible, too. But telling me things like that are not going to change how her condition goes.
Why not?
Why not?
She's your mom, right? You should be able to handle her. So make sure that she stays alive and keeps her dying away from my wedding.
Do you really think I can find a way to keep her alive any longer than she's willing to fight for? There's just no way, Lynn.
I know that. It was just a joke.
Well, that didn't seem like a joke to me, and it's crazy to think that you'd be joking about things like that right now. I'm not having a great time talking to you anymore, Lynn.
Well, just remember to keep things to yourselves for right now so that it doesn't ruin my special day. It's a real pain to have to think about that, so do your best.
How am I supposed to do my best when my mom is dying? And asking for it to not cause any trouble or ruin your wedding? Can't you at least consider my feelings a bit more and say things like that in a nicer way?
Huh? In a nicer way? I'm sorry for your loss.
She hasn't died yet, though. You can stop trying to text me now, okay? I am not able to handle any more of your rude and thoughtless texts now. I'm just not in the mood to put up with you, as I have so many more important things to worry about.
What? What are you going on about now? You're calling me rude now? Calling me rude like that makes you the rude one. For real.
If I have anything else I need to say to you, I'll contact you. Thank you for this short and unfortunate conversation we had. And goodbye. I believe you've already heard the news from Garrett, but today's the day of my mom's funeral, so I won't be making it to your wedding. I'm sorry that I won't be there to see you, but I hope you have a wonderful wedding today.
Huh? You're kidding me, right?
Huh?
What do you think you're doing canceling on my wedding when it's only a couple hours away? This is unthinkable of you.
Huh? What do you mean? You were told all of this by your brother yesterday, weren't you? I even sent you a message the moment she passed to tell you about it.
Well, I never noticed anything from you guys. And why would I have cared then when it had nothing to do with my wedding?
Well, I'm sorry, but that's on you, Lynn. We were kind enough to send you a message warning you, and you never bothered to read them.
Do you think you can just use that poor excuse to get out of coming to my wedding now? There's no freaking way you'd cancel on coming to your younger sister-in-law's wedding like that, right? Are you trying to screw with me now?
I'm not trying to screw with you in any way, okay? I'm sorry that this all happened so close to your wedding. But we told you about this yesterday, so you should have already known to expect this. Just know that I'm not going to make it today, but have a great time on your special day.
Your mom? She's a serious piece of garbage.
What?
That must mean that my brother's not coming now either, right? This is absolutely crazy, but I remember coming to your wedding when you both had one and bringing all sorts of gifts for you two.
I remember you gave us $30 as a wedding gift, right?
This isn't about the amount of money that I gave you.
But you said that like you gave a lot.
Well, I'm not going to forgive you now. You guys canceling on coming to my wedding is a huge problem for me. Who gives a crap that another grandma has died off? Seriously. Canceling on the day of your family's wedding is screwed up. Big time.
You're going to talk to me like that when my mom only just died?
Who cares about your mom? I'm pissed off now because of you. If you feel that you really want to skip my special day, then pay me $10,000 for both your guys' seats.
What? $10,000?
That's what it cost to cancel last minute. If you don't want to pay me that, then get your butt over here.
I am my mom's only daughter, so I will not leave her without a funeral. I need time to say my final goodbyes to her and thank her for all she's done.
Then I'm going to need that $10,000, okay?
Do you think I actually need to pay you that much? Calm down a little bit, Lynn. I myself am getting to the edge of my limits.
Well, I'm just telling you how much it costs to cancel last minute. It's pretty obvious that you're supposed to care more about my wedding than some elderly woman's funeral, right? But if you really want to flake on me, then I want the $10,000 as a cancellation fee. Ha!
Can I pay it directly to your account?
If you do, then I'll forgive you.
All right, then.
Huh? Are you sure? Well, then I'm totally fine with you not coming to my wedding. $10,000 is a huge win. I never thought that I'd actually get you to pay me that much money.
But in return for that, I'm going to be canceling your whole wedding, okay?
Huh?
I may be giving you $10,000, but the cost of your wedding being canceled will be even higher than that. But you'll be able to pay for that, right?
What are you talking about? What does all that mean?
It looks to me like you've forgotten, but the person that planned out and reserved your wedding was me. And I can cancel all that wedding in one simple phone call right now. And the price of that whole wedding is $80,000. So you'll have to pay a large amount of that if the wedding's canceled, right?
Huh? $80,000? What are you going on about? I could never pay that kind of money.
Right? And that's why I assume you'd pay for it with whatever money you'd gotten from the family and your partner. But if you want me to pay you $10,000 right now, that'll come out of the money I planned to give you, and I'll be forced to cancel your wedding. You asked to pick a fight with me, and that right there is my defense.
Huh? Do you actually believe that you can do that?
Well, I was the one that planned and reserved the wedding for you. But if you're going to treat my mom and I the way you have been, then I have no other choice but to take that away, which I was kind enough to help get you. I don't even care if that ends up ruining things with you and your partner. I have a funeral to get to for my very important mom today.
Why do you keep on going on like that? You can't do any of that to me! You will never find a way to cancel my wedding without having my permission first. This is my big moment today. It's your fault for canceling last minute. So, why should my wedding be canceled because of your problems? What did I do to deserve any of that?
You never looked at any of the messages your brother and I sent you and then became pissed off with me when I told you I can't come today because of my mom's funeral. And then you proceeded to make fun of my mother and I, followed by you asking me to pay you a massive fee for not coming. I think I have the right to be extremely upset with you right now, Lynn. I'm the one that just lost the most important woman in my life.
I didn't think you'd get that upset with me, though. But you can't just cancel this wedding on me like that when it's my biggest day.
I can, though.
What?
The whole reason I was so kind in reserving the wedding and preparing it for you is because it's part of my job. And as the one that plans out weddings, I can also cancel them at any time.
Huh? Don't do that crap. Seriously, Sarah. You know that that's a bad decision right there. This is my wedding. Your sister-in-law's wedding.
But you pushed me to my limits, and actually over them. I told you that my mom had passed away yesterday, and that today's her funeral, but you haven't said one thing showing your sympathies for me. Instead, you've just been harassing me because of it, which is wild, because you had met with my mom a few times now. But I guess that wasn't enough for you to feel any sort of remorse after her passing.
Sorry about that. But I didn't mean to be rude to you or anything. I didn't think things would have to come to this with you. Must be tough for you, Sarah. Sorry again for the loss of your mom.
I just remembered now that you already told me that when my mom hadn't even died yet and was still in critical condition.
I did?
And now that I've remembered that, I'm only getting more pissed. You have no right saying that to me a second time now. I am done with you. And all that you've said to me these past few days has all been told to your brother. And he was pissed back then, but now he's furious as well.
Huh? You told my brother? Why would you tell him all that useless stuff? This is something between you and I, so there's no need bringing it up with him.
He's saying that he never wants to be around you again.
Huh? Why the hell is he saying that? My brother would never say something like that about his little sister.
It's the truth. But hey, I've always kind of hated being around you, so this is all perfect. I think that after showing just how rotten to the core you are, we can't be bothered with being your family. And I'm sure that when everyone else hears about this, there will be no problem with me canceling your wedding. Even my husband is saying it's okay for me to do that, all right?
There's no way. Are you seriously telling me that my own brother said things like that? There is no literal way. You're lying. You're just trying to get me to panic now that you have to pay me $10,000. Stop all that childish crap. It's a pain in my butt.
Pain in your butt? Well, if that's what you think. If you think this is all a lie, then why not ask your brother now what he's thinking? Your brother was cared for by my mom very well, and he was like another son to her. He was so close to her that I'm sure his frustrations with you are justified. I mean, when I first showed him what you said a few days ago about my mom, he spit out his drink.
He was that surprised. What did I do to cause that?
You didn't bother to read the atmosphere, instead saying things that only revolved around you and your stupid wedding. And neither of us are willing to be around people as selfish as you anymore. We've gone and told your parents about this as well now.
What? Why are you telling everyone? Are you trying to make rumors spread about me? I just said one or two rude things is all to you. Canceling my wedding because you couldn't take what I said is outrageous! And this isn't just my wedding, but my husband's as well.
Well, if you are so upset over this, then maybe you should have been more careful when speaking with the person that put the whole wedding together for you. I did all of that work, not just as my job, but also because I thought of you as my little sister. You had been wanting to have your wedding for years now at the place I reserved for you. And I had to put in a lot of good words about you to get you a spot for today.
I'm sorry. I guess I was being a bit too rude. So please, Sarah, forgive me for that.
Well, it's too late now to ask me not to cancel it, because even if I don't, it looks like others will do it for me.
Huh? What do you mean this time?
Your parents are fuming right now. My mom only just passed away yesterday, but you made it very clear about how much you don't care about her or I, right? And not just that, but asked me to pay you if I chose to be at my mom's funeral instead of at your wedding. We are all very much done with you, Lynn, and I mean all of us.
But if you were to never have canceled on me, then everyone would be okay with me, right? So that means exactly what I think it means. This is all your fault!
No point in trying to blame me now for this. Everyone has seen how you've acted, and so regardless of me coming to your wedding or not, it was either going to be canceled or sometime down the road your husband would be divorcing you.
Huh?
Well, either way, I'm not going to be around to watch you go down. I'm no longer going to think of you as my family, and I don't have the emotional capacity to worry about a random stranger. And your brother is also cutting ties with you now, so you won't mind me saying bye now, right? Goodbye forever, you piece of garbage. I think you're going to have to pay off all the cancellation fees, okay? In the end, just as I had mentioned to Lynn, all her family sided with me, and I was able to cancel her wedding before she could even show off her dress. And as for her husband, he had seen enough of her. Lynn was then left having to pay the full cancellation fee for the wedding, but was under the impression that she could get me to pay some of it. But of course that wasn't going to fly with me, and so I told her to screw off and deal with it all herself. She continued to try and get my husband and I to help her by calling over and over again. But we were both in the middle of my mom's funeral, so we both chose to block her number. Lynn really did end up being hated by everyone, including her own husband. And not only a week after they had handed in their marriage papers, her husband was filling out papers for divorce. She may still try to blame me and everyone else for this happening to her, but she's the only one having to go through a divorce and pay close to $80,000.